Okay, Season 12, Additions to Tax. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng additions to tax? You have the tax due or the tax payable plus other amounts added to the tax due. What are they? Civil penalties under Section 248 of the NIRC. Magkano ba yan? 25% of the tax due in case of simple neglect. Simple neglect sa ano? To file any return and pay the tax due thereon on the date prescribed. Okay, merong deadline for filing. Hindi mo naman nasunod. Late ang filing mo. O kaya sa pagbayad, hindi mo nasunod. Late ka. Tatamad-tamad ka. Well, merong civil penalty. Next. Filing a return with an internal revenue officer other than those with whom the return is required to be filed. You are supposed to file the return in Manila, RDO in Manila. Pero yung nag-file ka sa RDO ng Makati, may penalty na 25% or surcharge of 25%. Failure to pay the deficiency tax within the time prescribed for its payment and the notice of assessment. Pinadalhan ka ng assessment ng BIR at nakalagay doon, ang babayaran mo is 500,000 pesos. You have to settle that obligation on or before April 30, 2021. April 30 na, hindi ka pa rin nakakapagbayad ng 500,000 gaya ng nakalagay sa notice of assessment plus 25%. Yung 500,000 plus 25%. What else? Failure to pay the full or part of the amount of taxation on any return required to be filed, or the full amount of tax due for which no return is required to be filed on or before the date prescribed for its payment. Dapat bayaran mo, hindi ka nagbayad. Basta ang isipin mo, pag delinquent taxpayer ka, meron kang penalty at 25%. O kaya, magdiwang ka na kung 25% lang kasi merong mas malala. 50% in case of willful neglect or false or fraudulent return has been willfully made or filed. Ano ba ang when is a return false or fraudulent? Prima facie evidence of a false or fraudulent return. Substantial under declaration of taxable sales receipts or income. Yung income mo is or gross sales mo is 100 million, i-declare mo lang 60 million. Abay, napakalaki ng diferensya, 40% ang hindi mo dineclare. Why? Because pag mas mataas yung sales mo, the tendency is to pay higher amount of tax. Kaya binabaan mo para kaunti lang ang bayaran mong tax. Pag nahuli ka, tax due plus 50%. Or a substantial overstatement of deductions. Bakit naman tataasan masyado yung deduction? Kasi pag tinaasan mo yung deduction, ang net income mo, bababa. And what will be the effect on your income tax due? Mababawasan din. Okay. Pero take note, Under declaration or overstatement shall only be considered substantial kung failure to report sales, receipts, or income in an amount exceeding. So, dapat more than 30% of that declared per return or a claim of deductions of actual deduction. Kung mga 5% lang naman yung difference, hindi pa namin considered as substantial. So, more than 30% ang sinasabi dito. So, those are civil penalties under Section 248. Meron pa, plus interest under Section 249. In general, there shall be assessed and collected on any unpaid amount of tax interest at the rate of 12%. Mabuti nga ngayon, 12% na lang. Dati, 20% yan. 12%. Provided that in no case shall the deficiency and delinquency interest be imposed simultaneously. Ano ba yung deficiency? Deficient, kulang. Delinquency. Delinquent ka, hindi ka nakapag-file or nakapag-bayad on time. Delinquent. Deficiency interest, any deficiency, the tax due shall be subject to the interest shall be assessed and collected from the date prescribed for each payment. So, from the date, hindi kasi natin na bago yung kulay. Hindi natin anong tawag dyan, na highlight. From the date prescribed for each payment until the full payment thereof or upon issuance of a notice of demand by the commissioner, whichever comes earlier. Ano naman ang delinquency? In case of failure to pay the amount of tax due on any return to be filed, the amount of tax due for which no return is required, or a deficiency tax or any surcharge or interest thereon, the due date appearing in the notice and demand, etc. What is the purpose of imposing interest? The purpose is to recover what should have been collected already by the government. Delay in the collection of revenue on the part of the government. So, dapat kung ang filing and payment April 15, dapat yung pera on or before April 15, nasa kamay na ng gobyerno. Kaya lang, kung nagbayad ka, November na-delay yung collection of revenue. Hindi agad napasa kamay ng gobyerno. Because of that, magbabayad ka ng interest. Yun ang pinaka-purpose of the imposition. So, tingnan natin. Problem. Nati po. Ang pangalan niya Nati. Kung pangalan mo Nati, o ang apelido mo po, huwag ka nang papayag ng ipangalan sa iyo Nati. Kasi buhay ka pa, Nati po ka na eh. Died on March 25, 2020. The estate tax due on the transfer of her estate amounted to 200,000. So that is the state tax due. Nag-usapan na natin how to compute the state tax. Question, how much is the surcharge and the interest if the state tax return was filed and the tax due was paid? Wala yung paid. Was paid on June 20, 2021. Ay, ginagalit na naman ako. Ay, hindi kita titigilan. Alam mo, ba talagang ginagalit ako? Yun. June 2021, assume that there was no extension for the filing and payment. Kailan ba namatay? March 25, 2020. Based on our previous discussion, what is the period for filing the state tax return payment without any penalty? 1 year. So the deadline is March 25, 2021. Nag-file siya at nagbayad June 20 na. So, delinquent na siya sa pag-file ng tax return sa pagbayad ng estate tax. So, how are we going to compute? Delinquency. So, meron siyang surcharge. How much is a surcharge? Yun ang unang compute natin. 50,000. 200,000 based on the tax due times 25%, 50,000. Yung interest naman. Ano yung interest? Depende kung ilang araw yung delinquency. When is the deadline for the payment and filing? March 25, 2021. So, June 20, nag-file at nagbayad. Therefore, ilang araw yung delinquency? Start with March 26. How many days are there in March? 31 minus 25. So, 6 remaining days in March. April, 30. May, 31. June. Huwag mong isasama yung buong 30 days ng June kasi June 20, paid na siya. So, hanggang 20 lang. So, total number of days, 87. Yan ang magiging basis natin sa pag-compute ng interest. How do we compute the interest? What is the formula? Interest equals principal. How much is the principal? Ito, 200,000. Times rate. What is the interest rate? 12%. Time. 87. Yung, wag kang mag-start sa March 25, 2020. Mag-start sa March 26. Yung number of days na delinquent siya. Yung period for filing and payment na 1 year, wala pang interest doon. Grace period, yun bali. So, 200,000 times 12% times 87 over 365. 87 days out of 365 days in 1 year. So, ang interest is 5,720 and 55 centavos. Paano ba ang presentation niyan sa estate tax return? Ito. Estate tax due. Kano ba yung estate tax due natin? 200,000. Ulat nga natin. Ayan. Tax credit payments, wala naman. So, tax payable line 20, 200,000. Less portion. Kung installment, hindi naman sinabi. So, tax payable, oros na lang 200,000. Okay. So, dito tayo sa additions to tax, yung penalty. Surcharge. How much is the surcharge? 50. Ay, meron tayo dyan. Erase natin. Hindi na kailangan isulat. Yun, 50,000. Yung interest, 5,720 and 55 centavos. Total penalties, wala yata akong nailagay dyan. So, isulat ko na lang. $55,720. Lentek. Balik natin dito. Kahit ito lang. $55,720. 55. So, bali ang tax payable 255, 721. Ay, kuwan na yan. Gawin ng 1 peso yung 55. Basta tumabot na ng 50 centavos, round off muna sa 1 peso. So, 721 na yan. Okay, next. Problem 2. The income tax due in the amount of 500,000 MNO corporation for calendar year 2018 was paid after 760 days of being delinquent. So, delinquent siya 760. So, we will not compute the number of days anymore because it is already given in the problem. Compute for the surcharges and interest, the delinquency was due to willful neglect. So, kahit 1 day lang na delinquent, meron ng penalty yan. So, surcharge was due to willful. So, what will be the penalty? What rate is the surcharge? 50%. Ayan. So, 500 times 50% because willful neglect nga. And then yung interest naman, wala namang effect except on the number of days delinquent. 500,000 times 12% times 760. Ang galing yung 760 dito. Over 365. 1 year yan. 124,931.51 centavos. Magiging 32 na yan. Round up na. Okay. Kayang-kaya na ba? Alam na? End of season 12. Okay. Di na natin pinag-usapan yung compromise penalty. Kasi nasa BIR na ang compromise penalty na yan.